how important financially, not just for the, as you said, for the smaller clubs, very important. But, I mean, Manchester United lost a fortune last year, as did a lot of those top Premier League clubs. So just tell us exactly what this means to get fans back in. I mean, we've seen 18 months of, no one in stadiums, empty stadiums, footballers playing to nobody. Forget the safety aspect as well. I mean, it's important that we get it back on, isn't it?
Yes, it is, Kirsty. Of course it's important we get it back on. But I have to say to you, because I'm one of those people who believes passionately that the gap between rich and poor in football is obscene at the level at which it's reached, and who desperately has been campaigning with others, we hope now successfully, for an independent financial regulator in the near future. I am fearful for some of the clubs who are going to have to face up now to paying back some of the loans that have kept them going. VAT bills are going to start coming in again, and it's going to be very difficult for a significant number of clubs.
What other help do they need, and what can be done to help those clubs that are, as you say, if we're not careful, they are going to fall through that gap?
Well, in the short term, it's going to be very, very difficult for them. As I say, in the medium to long term, one hopes that better financial regulation and an independent regulator who can look at the game as a whole, so that you don't end up with one football club being able to consider buying Lionel Messi and at vast cost, and then broken changing room windows in, I'm not being rude about Biggleswade, but let's pick on someone like Biggleswade. That cannot be right, that the gap between rich and poor has been allowed to reach that extreme.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk for hours on this, but we have to talk about, obviously, the Euros so far, England's brilliant progress. You must be enjoying this massively. Tomorrow night, they're in the semi-finals against Denmark. I guess you're very happy for Gareth Southgate and those guys out there.
Do you know something? I was lucky enough to work with 4 England managers and to work with Gareth Southgate as a player, to go through that awful night that he missed the famous penalty at Wembley. And I saw the word redemption mentioned last weekend, and quite right too. I mean, for Gareth, what's happening now is that the great thing is he went to a number of World Cups. He didn't always play. He might argue, that one of the lessons he learned was in the 2002 World Cup in Japan, when he travelled as part of the England squad under Sven-Göran Eriksson, and he didn't play. And he learned the importance of the other members of the squad. We also learned in that period that there is a difference between taking a 16, 17, 18-year-old player away for a World Cup for an undefined period of time and taking a 36-year-old, 37-year-old goalkeeper, say. I'm not picking on David James, but let's think of him in particular. You take the differences are there when you're talking about homesickness and that sort of thing, and the issues that players have when they're away, as I say, for an unspecified period of time. It is wonderful that the lessons of our period, which ultimately wasn't successful, seem to have been learned.